Taking the time to be here with us tonight. I know that some of you were invited here for different reasons. Some of you are here just to kind of learn about what somebody is doing that you might know that is working with us and learning a little bit more about what their job consists of and how you can support them. There's others of you that are on the call that maybe you are looking for a new opportunity yourself or something that does give you the opportunity to truly dream again and to build something that matters and to feel like you're truly making an impact and a difference, and knowing that the income that you earn is a direct reflection of families' lives being impacted and changed. And I know the third reason some of you are here is because you own a business or you are an entrepreneur, and maybe you're just looking for another stream of income that you could earn without having to take on another job, without having to take on another business, but being able to have another passive stream of income. So regardless of what way you're brought to us tonight, we're excited to have you here. You know, I've been with this company now for 11 years. And when I started with the company 11 years ago, I already thought, hey, there's no way this thing could get any better. And year over year, this company has blown me away. It's continued to get better and better and better and blown past every expectation I could have for it. You know, they say sometimes something sounds too good to be true. And I got to tell you, like, it definitely feels too good to be true to get to live the life that we get to live, do the things that we get to do. And it's all thank you to this incredible organization that we have here. But I want to give you just a very brief overview as to, you know, who we are and what we do. But really what I want to focus on tonight is the opportunity that we have at hand. As you look at the size of our organization, our company as a whole has 86,000 licensed agents right now. Now, the largest company in the industry, in the finance industry, to ever exist was A.L. Williams, which amassed a organization of 250,000 licensed agents. A.L. Williams was acquired by Citicorp, and after Citicorp acquired them, some changes were made and they downsized the force. But with that being said, our vision is to be able to take that spot to be the #1 financial services firm in the US and to be able to truly make our vision a reality. And our vision is no family left behind. Unfortunately, as Nathan said, there's very little to no financial education taught in our school systems. People are lucky to graduate high school with a semester of personal finance or economics, and that's it. And quite frankly, that's not enough. You shouldn't have to already have a lot of money to know how money works and how money can work for you. And so what I love is in the 11 years I've been here, my highest net worth client is a billionaire. So it's not like we kick people out of the office because they have a lot of money. But what I value more than that is that my lowest net worth client is a single mom with 3 kids that lives in Section 8 housing. And I got to tell you, 11 years in this industry, I have met with a lot of financial professionals. And I have never met another one with a different company that says that they have that kind of diversity in the clientele that they help and the people that they serve. And so as far as what we stand for the middle class. We can help everybody, but our primary focus is to bring Wall Street to Main Street and to teach the 95% what the 5% is being taught. And that honestly is probably one of the most rewarding things to do. One of the leading causes of divorce in our country is personal finance and money issues. One of the leading causes of suicide is financial stress. And knowing that we have the ability to sit down with a family and potentially save a marriage or save a life because of what we do is so impactful and so rewarding. And so if you're somebody that's motivated and driven by helping people, this is definitely something that would be for you if you could qualify to be affiliated with our organization. But as I mentioned, we have 86,000 licensed agents as a company, and our vision's within the next 5 years to be over 250,000 to be able to make sure that we take that spot being the #1 financial firm in the United States. And the only way we can do that is to grow. Now, as far as what we look for and what this looks like, when you look at an opportunity in our industry, there's a lot of companies that are going to give you a requirement where you have to come in full time. You have to make sure that you've got at least 40 to 60 hours a week to commit. You're going to have to be doing cold calling and door knocking and buying leads and figuring out where your next clients are going to come from. And honestly, if I had to do any of that, I would not be here. What I love about our company is the fact that, A, we give you the ability to start part-time. Just like in real estate, a lot of times somebody goes into real estate, you know, they go out and get a real estate license, but most time they don't start full time. They don't just quit their job. You know, they get a license, they get appointed with a brokerage, and they learn the ropes. They get to the point where they're starting to help families with buying and selling homes. And when they actually start making a consistent livable income, then that's where they usually make that transition and go full time when they're ready. But once they're full-time, what does it give them? It gives them the ability of having total time freedom. They set their schedule. They don't have to ask a boss for time off. They get to travel when they want, where they want. They get to build financial independence and financial freedom. They have the ability to be a part of a competitive culture and a team. But the only challenge with real estate is every year your income restarts. Every year you could go out and make $1 million this year, and you've got to go make $1 million again next year, because if you're not selling more homes or buying more homes, you're going to be at $0. So the biggest benefit of this industry is that we're not just helping people find a place to live. We are literally saving marriages, saving lives. We are putting together financial plans that give people peace of mind and security of knowing that they have a sound financial future and a clear path to what financial independence would look like for them. And that's what we get paid to do. But if you look up what is the most profitable industry in the world, it's obviously the money industry. It's the finance industry. This industry is 3 times as large as the second most profitable industry, which happens to be real estate. But the biggest benefit of this is the fact that year over year, your income doesn't reset. We are one of the few industries that gets paid what's called passive residual income. So every year, the income that we earn from the people that we've helped continues to compound onto the next year and the next year. And for any of you that come from a sales background, imagine if you were a car salesperson, you got paid for selling a car, but imagine you got paid every year that person drove that car again, right? That is passive residual income, which gives you freedom. It gives you time freedom and financial independence. You know, there's a saying, money doesn't buy happiness. It's true, because if you make a lot of money and you've got no time to go do anything with your family or friends or anything like that, what's the point? But if you have money and time, that is the true American dream, and you can do with it whatever you see fit. But we give that opportunity where somebody has the ability to start part-time. There's no quotas, there's no minimums, there's a flexible training schedule, and we give them the opportunity to learn this at their own pace. They can dip their toes in the water, get their feet wet, get over the learning curve, and plug into our systems and know that they have a clear path forward, and they always will know what their next step is. But on top of that, they also will not be out there making cold calls and door knocking and buying leads, because 100% of our business is entirely built on our system. And every time we sit down with somebody, it's off the trust and the relationship of another person that we've helped. And so what you're going to love about this is the fact that this is an opportunity where if you qualify to be with our firm, you don't have to leave what you're doing. You don't have to make an overnight decision. It's really just deciding, do I want to dip my toe in the water? You know, but for those of you that don't know who we are as a company, like I said, I want to just give you a very brief overview. We are the Miliare Group, and Miliare is an Italian word meaning milestone. We're the milestone group because we are helping people achieve all of the milestones in their life, whether that be financially or whether that be through our business. But the Miliare Group is a broker, just like when we look at Keller Williams, for example. If I started my own Keller Williams agency, I might have, Bosley's Real Estate Group, and it's my own organization, but it would still be a part of a much larger parent company. And that's what we have. We have a powerful backing behind us. So we have a company called Aegon, which is a global Fortune 500 company worth hundreds of billions of dollars that is our financial backing and support. And Aegon allows us to be able to contract through Transamerica and WFG, 2 powerhouses in our industry. Transamerica is our securities broker, WFG is our insurance broker, but it gives us access to both sides of the industry rather than just representing one. But then through WFG and Transamerica, we are able to contract with 190 plus companies in our industry. A lot of times when somebody sits down with a client, if they're working with a State Farm agent, for example, if they go talk to that State Farm agent, the State Farm agent is going to sell them State Farm insurance. It doesn't make it a bad company, but they have no way of knowing if that truly is the cheapest and best option for you. Whereas the difference is when we work with a client, our job is not to sell them something. Our job is to understand and identify where are they financially right now, what are their goals, where do they want to be, and then to identify out of the top 190 plus companies in the financial industry, what is best for them, what is going to help them achieve their goals the fastest. And we have a saying, mission before commission. The commissions that we earn from the carriers are a byproduct of what we're doing to help change somebody's life. And this is the most heavily regulated industry in the world. And being able to represent all these carriers for names like Nationwide and Transamerica and Global Atlantic and Pacific Life to be affiliated with us, you know that we're a company out there doing the right thing for people. But the best part is that when we work with clients, our clients do not pay us for the time that we spend, the education we provide, the plans that we build. Everything that we're doing for our clients is free for them. But that doesn't mean we don't get paid. Where we get paid from is as we help set up accounts with different companies and carriers, they pay us for the placement of business so our clients don't have to. It's an amazing way to do business and typically alleviates one of the number one reasons why people don't sit down with a financial advisor or a financial professional is because they think it's going to be too expensive. Well, when they don't have to pay anything for it, there's no reason not to at least see what we can do for them. But then on top of that, the other key thing that really separates our company is that mission statement of No Family Left Behind. Bringing the education that the top 5% of our country has and being able to bring that to the 95%. But with that said, no family left behind. We do help everybody. We've got plans, services, products for everybody, even our ultra high net worth clients. And I think the biggest thing that's most rewarding is being able to truly help people dream again. Being able to help alleviate the stress that people have and knowing that they have a clear path forward. People don't plan to fail. It's just they never even have a plan built for them in the first place. So when we sit down with a family, the first thing that we do is we do basic financial education. And it starts with simple things like teaching compounding interest and how money grows and the importance of fighting for every interest point that you can when it comes to long-term growth. We teach them how money grows in general and the three options, how you've got fixed, variable, and index, and how to be able to actually get your money working for you in the best ways possible. We also teach about taxes and the difference between taxable, deferred, and advantaged, and how to be able to make sure that our money is growing tax-free and that when we take it out, we have tax-free access to the growth of those funds and when to use that, but also when to use other strategies for short-term wealth. But the education side is great, but if all we did was just education, people would leave and they'd be like, hey, thanks, I learned a lot, but then they wouldn't do anything with it. And so where we really get to help people is through our financial needs analysis. And so this right here, I think, does a great job at summarizing what we focus on. There's a 6-step process, and a lot of times it starts with cash flow. Unfortunately, more often than not, people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're spending most of what they're making. So if our job is to help somebody save more money, a lot of times we have to help them find it first. So we do that through helping them with budgeting. We shop out expenses to see if there's anything they can reduce or pay less on to free up money there. We also help them with their taxes and make sure they're not overpaying in taxes, earning additional income. I mean, anything that ties into finding money for them that they didn't know they had in the first place. The second key area that we focus on would actually be the debt management step. And most people have debt, credit cards, student loans, personal notes, whatever it is. Our first job is to look at that and see, is there a way we can help consolidate or refinance any existing debt that they have to save the amount of money that they're paying in interest? But if not, what we do instead is we'll do a credit building plan to build up their credit score and build out a debt snowballing strategy to show them the fastest and quickest ways they can eliminate their debts while paying the least amount of interest. And so all we've done in those two areas is we found money. And now that we found money, now we can make sure they have a sound, solid emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months worth of income saved in a liquid account so that they don't have to keep going back into debt every time an emergency happens. Step 4 is proper protection. That'd be the insurance side of the conversation. But it's looking at life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care. And this is something that is highly, highly under talked about in our country. You know, most people have life insurance, but it's a group term policy through work and that's it. And when you look at that, the average group term policy is like $50,000. Well, if we passed away tomorrow and our family only got $50,000, how long is that going to last? It's like not long. And this is where, unfortunately, we see so many people that end up in this position where, since our coverage is only through work, if we get sick and we're on end-of-life care, our company doesn't typically keep us on payroll. They lay us off, and then we lose our life insurance. And that's why so many people pass away without life insurance. But it's so cheap to be able to have it. It's so inexpensive to provide it for your family and have that peace of mind of knowing they would be taken care of if something happened to you. One of my friends who's 36 years old just passed away suddenly in Las Vegas at our company convention. And it was from a bacterial infection that took his life within 24 hours. It's like we never know. But when you look at the ability to be able to actually protect our family, to protect our loved ones, to leave a legacy, it is so important. And when you have 190 plus companies, we're going to always find whatever's cheapest and best for people. Building wealth, I'd say that's probably the most fun step of the conversation. But how do we actually get our money working for us? How do we maximize the growth of our assets? But how do we also reduce or eliminate fees and reduce or eliminate risk? And the last step is preserving wealth, which is estate planning. That'd be looking at wills and trusts and power of attorney, healthcare amendments, living will, living trust, everything to make sure that when we pass away, that our family gets the most and the government takes the least, but also to make sure that while we're alive, that our assets are protected from lawsuits, predators, and creditors. So as we work with a family, our whole job is not to sit there and try to tell them that they got to change everything they're doing. It's just to simply identify where are they financially right now? What are their goals? Where do they want to be? What's missing? And then we fill in all the empty spaces to give them total peace of mind, knowing that they have a sound financial plan and knowing what their future is going to look like. It's probably one of the most rewarding things to do. I never saw myself coming in the finance industry. But after I sat down with my first client and he was literally in tears, thanking me for what I just did for him and his family, I never felt like that anywhere, even in the military. There was never an area that I felt more meaningful to people than being able to do what we do here. And so if that's something that speaks to you, this could very well be an incredible opportunity for you. And I got to tell you, just even the financial education alone that you're going to get out of being a part of this company is worth it. Even if you decided not to make a career out of this, even if it was just something part-time, or you just said, hey, I'll refer clients here and there. Even if that's all you did, just the financial education that you're going to get and the position that it's going to put your family in because of that is worth everything. Now, as far as the way that our business works, as I mentioned, we allow you to start part-time. We allow you the ability to have no quotas or no minimums. We have a flexible training schedule. We have a clear system. You don't have to make cold calls or door knock or buy leads or anything like that. But we give you the opportunity. It's what you do with the opportunity is what you get out of it. So where do we get paid from? We get paid when we help a family. As we go through these 6 steps, on average, there's usually about $3,000 of brokerage fees paid to our agency for each family that we help. And remember, none of that $3,000 comes from the client paying us. Of that $3,000 that these companies paid to our agency, we then get paid a percentage of that. And so when you're brand new, licensed, and out of training, you typically start at about 35% of that. And so you'll make $1,050 per average client. So if you were even doing this part-time, just a little bit of extra income, and you just learned how to help one family a week part-time, that's $1,050 a week times 52 weeks a year. That's $55,000 a year part-time. And I don't know many part-time career opportunities out there that pay $55,000 a year part-time helping one client a week. But as you get promoted, you move up to a 65% contract, 70% plus with bonuses, get to the point where you start making an average of over $100,000 a year for the same one client a week. But on top of that, you get to be a part of a team and a community that truly believes in you, that inspires you, that pours into you, but also you get to feel like you're truly making a difference in your community. So it's not just about the money that we earn. Yes, we get paid an amazing income, but it's more about how you're going to feel leaving the impact that you're going to leave in your community and what you being a part of this agency could do for somebody else that you know or somebody that you come across. But to give you an idea of just what the average earnings look like, typically somebody that's brand new with like no experience in this industry, you're looking at 0 to 3 years experience, average earnings is about $88,000 a year. When you enter into tier 2, which is once you're at about 4 to 7 years of experience, the average earnings bump up to $315,000 per year. And when you're looking at about 8 to 10 years of experience, the average earnings is $831,000 a year. And so just to share this with you, I started in this company when I was 21 years old. I'm 33 now, just turned 33 last week. So I've been with this company for 11 and a half years. And I can tell you when it says 8 to 10 years, the average earnings is $831,000. You might see this picture behind us, but this was an award from our company that they sent us when we crossed over $1 million a year in annual income. It's like there's no way that you could have told me when I was 21 that by the time I was in my early 30s I'd be making a 7-figure income passively. But it's true. And honestly, that whole thought process of if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I think that costs more people more opportunities than anything else. If you bought a scratch-off lottery ticket tomorrow and all of a sudden you found out you just won $20 million, like that sounded a little bit too good to be true, but you probably wouldn't rip it up and throw it in the trash, right? And it's like, this really is the most incredible thing that I think exists in our country. The ability to earn an income from helping people, making a difference in your community, knowing that you have no caps on your earning potential, total time freedom, structured training, support, and the fact that you get to be a part of something bigger. There's nothing that could put a price tag on that. Now, what's the barrier of entry? Like, what does it take? You have to be able to schedule an interview. That interview would be ran with one of our certified field trainers. They would sit there and go through our interview process, and if it feels like you're a good fit for us, and also if this feels like it's a good mutual fit for you, then we would move on to the next step. The next step from there is that you'd need to be licensed. You cannot work in this industry unless you get a license, just like in real estate. Now the good news is if you want to go into real estate, you're going to pay roughly around like $2,000, depending on your state, $2,000 to $3,000 to go out and get a real estate license. Well, good news is a license in our industry typically only runs somewhere between $250 to $400, depending on which state you're in. So that's the only out-of-pocket cost, and you'd have to go pass an 82-question multiple choice quiz and get a C- on it. So you'd have to pass an interview, get a license, but then after that, we'd sit down and we'd actually map out what we call a business plan for you. We'd figure out what your goals are, and if your goal is just to make an extra $1,000 a month, your path forward is going to look a little bit different than somebody saying, I want to make $250,000 my first year like Nathan Wheeler. But we're going to figure out what your goals are, what community you want to impact, the people that you want to make a difference for. And then we're going to custom tailor and build out a map forward so that you can clearly see what your next steps are in order to be able to achieve that. From there, you choose to put into this whatever you want to put into this, but just know you're going to get out of this whatever you put into this. So worst case scenario, if you're on and you're like, you know what, this sounds great, but I just want to know more. I want more information. I'll tell you that the best thing that you could do is, since our financial plans do not cost anything, the best next step for you is just go through one of our complimentary financial needs analysis. Get to see what we actually do for people. And I promise you that meeting is going to impact you in ways that you would not even imagine. The things that you're going to learn in that meeting are going to blow your mind. But when you see what we really get to do, then at that point, I feel like you'll know whether or not this is something for you. But for those of you that are on the call that are already like, yes, I know that this is something that I would want to try. I know this is something I would want to be a part of. I know this is a movement I can see myself in. Then I tell you your best next step is just to schedule an interview. Bring your questions, ask all the questions that you want, go through that. We'll have questions for you. And if it seems like a good mutual fit, we'll talk about next steps from there. Guys, this is an incredible opportunity, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on tonight to learn more about it. And as I said, it may not be something that's for you. It may not be something that you can qualify for at the moment, but at the same time, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot to see if you can be a part of this incredible team and movement. But also, worst case scenario, even if it's not for you, you probably know some people this could be a good fit for. But I appreciate your time tonight. As soon as we click end meeting, there's going to be a feedback form that pops up. And all I want you to do is just provide some feedback about what stood out to you. If you want to go through that financial needs analysis and get to see what we do for families and how we impact families, go ahead and check the box on that and just let us know that that's something that you'd want to see as a free complimentary financial needs analysis. If you already kind of feel like this is a path forward for you and you can see yourself here, just mark the box for schedule an interview, and one of our agents will reach out to make sure that they schedule an interview with you. But I look forward to seeing what this can do for you. Hopefully I get the opportunity to meet so many of you. But I appreciate you taking the time to be on with us tonight. Have a blessed rest of your evening, and thank you for being here.